Deep in the forests of Washington state, a manhunt unfolds. A father on the run, accused of the unthinkable. Police call him armed and dangerous. Families call him a monster. And the nation asks the same chilling question: how far can a fugitive go when the FBI is closing in? Travis Decker. To neighbors, he was a father. To investigators, he became something darker, suspected of killing his own 2 children before vanishing into the night. The crime scene was haunting. Zip ties, plastic bags, a broken family car. But what shook investigators most wasn't what they found, it was what they couldn't find. Because Decker himself was gone. Almost immediately, law enforcement launched a search. Campgrounds were locked down. Helicopters circled overhead. Roadblocks went up. Yet Decker was nowhere. Authorities warned, this man is skilled. He knows the woods. He's resourceful, dangerous, and willing to vanish for as long as it takes. For families in the area, the fear was overwhelming. Campers packed their bags. Parents told their kids not to play outside. A predator wasn't just out there, he was hiding in plain sight. When the FBI joined the manhunt, the case escalated to a national level. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Washington, it was about the entire country. Was Travis Decker still hiding in the deep woods of the Pacific Northwest? Or had he crossed into Canada, blending into border towns where no one would look twice at a stranger? Agents studied his movements, his survival skills, his past. Every fugitive leaves a trail. But Decker's trail was faint, as though he'd been planning this all along. For the families left behind, the fear turned personal. One father told reporters, if he could do that to his kids, what would stop him from hurting someone else's? It wasn't just grief now, it was terror. Because while police searched in the dark, Travis Decker could have been anywhere. Watching, waiting, planning his next move. Soon, the tips began pouring in. A hiker claimed he spotted a man near an abandoned campsite. A truck driver swore he saw someone who looked like Decker hitchhiking along the highway. Each sighting set off waves of panic. Each tip led to frantic searches. But each time he slipped away. It was as if the woods themselves were protecting him. The FBI put up a reward, $20,000 for information leading to his capture. For some, it was a chance at justice. For others, a chance to cash in. And as history shows, fugitives rarely stay hidden forever. The question wasn't if Decker would be caught, it was when. And whether he'd surrender peacefully or go down fighting. Law enforcement began to tighten their search. They studied his old routines, traced his known hangouts, and monitored the roads near the Canadian border. But every hour that passed without an arrest made the danger more real. Because this wasn't just about capturing a fugitive anymore. It was about preventing what he might do next. To understand the manhunt, we need to understand the man. Travis Decker was not a stranger to struggle. Those who knew him describe him as restless, always chasing stability, but never finding it. Some called him charming. Others whispered about a darker side, a temper that could ignite without warning. When his marriage began to collapse, so did his carefully maintained image. Investigators believe this downward spiral set the stage for the tragedy that followed. And when the final confrontation came, Decker made a decision that would forever stain his name. Travis wasn't running blind. He had experience outdoors, hunting, camping, surviving with little more than a knife and a plan. Detectives believe this gave him a dangerous advantage. While most fugitives rely on stolen cars or cash to flee, Decker could survive in the woods for days, even weeks, without being spotted. Every trail was familiar. Every creek was a lifeline. He didn't need comfort. He needed cover. And the forests of Washington gave him both. But what drives a father to commit the crime he's accused of? And more importantly, what keeps him on the run? Criminal profilers say men like Decker often live in cycles of control. When that control slips through divorce, failure, or exposure, they lash out. The act itself is vengeance. The escape is survival. For Decker, each day in hiding wasn't just about staying alive. It was about staying untouchable. About proving in his twisted mind that he was still one step ahead. For the community, life never returned to normal. Parents locked doors at night, scanning the woods beyond their homes. Some reported hearing footsteps outside their windows, convinced Decker was lurking in the darkness. Every rustle in the leaves, every crack of a branch, became a reminder that a predator might be closer than anyone thought. Meanwhile, the FBI built a psychological profile. They studied his patterns, where he'd worked, where he'd lived, even what foods he preferred. Agents believed he couldn't stay in the wild forever. Eventually, he would crave something familiar, a town, a meal, a face he once trusted. And that, they decided, would be his downfall. Soon, close calls began to surface. A gas station clerk claimed Decker bought supplies late at night, only to vanish before police arrived. A hunter reported finding a freshly abandoned campsite, ashes still warm, food wrappers scattered. And a truck driver swore he saw him walking along Highway 97, staring straight ahead, refusing to look at passing cars. Each lead brought officers minutes too late. Each sighting was a reminder Decker was still out there, moving like a shadow. The $20,000 reward only fueled the hunt. Rumors spread online. Some said Decker was hiding with relatives. Others claimed he'd crossed into Canada disguised as a laborer. But the FBI remained cautious. Every rumor wasted resources. Every false lead gave Decker more time. And time was his greatest weapon. By midsummer, the manhunt reached a breaking point. FBI agents expanded their net, monitoring highways, interviewing old friends, tracking every purchase that could be tied back to him. Whispers began. Was Decker preparing to strike again? Or was he simply running until the world forgot his name? Either way, investigators knew something critical. He couldn't run forever. Somewhere in the shadows of Washington's forests, Travis Decker is still out there, armed, dangerous, running from justice. And the longer he runs, the closer the hunt becomes. But the question is, when they finally find him, what will they discover? And then came the first major breakthrough, a clue so specific, so undeniable, that it narrowed the hunt to a single stretch of wilderness. Agents moved quickly. Tactical teams were deployed. But what they discovered in those woods wasn't what anyone expected. The manhunt for Travis Decker was now in its third week, and the pressure was suffocating. For law enforcement, every hour that passed without capturing him felt like failure. For the public, it was a nightmare, a reminder that a killer could be anywhere, hiding in plain sight. Police had flooded highways, set up checkpoints, and combed through rural backroads. The FBI released digital billboards across multiple states, flashing Travis's face with the chilling words, "Wanted, armed and dangerous. Do not approach." But Travis was clever. He had once been a family man, and that meant he understood the rhythms of suburban life. Detectives theorized he could slip into neighborhoods, blending in like an ordinary neighbor before vanishing again. 2 weeks into the hunt, authorities got their first credible lead. A woman working at a gas station in rural Kentucky reported seeing a man who matched Travis's description. He paid for gas and cash, wore a baseball cap low, and drove away in a vehicle with stolen plates. Detectives raced to the area, but by the time they arrived, Travis was gone. In the security footage, he looked directly into the camera for a split second, his eyes cold, almost daring. It was the proof investigators needed. He was alive, he was moving, and he was taunting them. As the manhunt continued, FBI profilers began piecing together his patterns. They believed Travis was no longer running aimlessly. He had a strategy. Each new sighting suggested he was circling back toward familiar places, not fleeing farther away. Why? Some believed it was arrogance. Others believed it was vengeance. He wanted the people hunting him to feel the same fear his family once did. One profiler described him bluntly. Travis isn't hiding. He's hunting us, too. One night, officers responded to a 911 call from a small farm town in Tennessee. A resident had spotted a man breaking into a barn. The caller described him as disheveled, with eyes that looked hollow. When police stormed the barn, they found food wrappers, a map with markings, and empty water bottles, all fresh. But Travis had slipped out through a side door just minutes before. Outside, footprints in the mud showed he had been watching the officers from the tree line. The realization sent chills down their spines. He wasn't just fleeing. He was calculating every move, staying one step ahead. By now, families across 3 states were on edge. Parents kept children inside after dark. Schools issued lockdown drills. Local gun shops reported a surge in sales. News anchors warned he could be anywhere. A gas station, a supermarket, the house next door. And then came the whispers, rumors that Travis had help. Some locals claimed they saw him being picked up by an unidentified accomplice. Others believed he was receiving food and supplies left at drop points. Was he acting alone, or was someone protecting him? The 3rd week ended with a chilling development. A truck driver traveling through North Carolina called 911 after spotting a man hitchhiking along a rural highway. The driver swore it was Travis. When police arrived, they found nothing. Just an abandoned backpack by the roadside. Inside was a burned cell phone, a pocket knife, and a single piece of paper. Scrawled in rough handwriting were 5 words. "You'll never catch me alive." The note raised the stakes. This wasn't just a manhunt anymore. This was a psychological war, and Travis Decker had just declared his terms. The manhunt for Travis Decker had stretched into weeks. Forest trails combed, cabins searched, and roadblocks established, but he always managed to stay one step ahead. Some believed he was hiding deep in the wilderness, surviving off the land. Others whispered he'd already slipped out of Washington, vanishing into America's vast highways. Then, out of nowhere, a call came in that shook investigators. A truck driver in North Carolina, hundreds of miles from where Decker had last been seen, dialed 911 with a chilling report. "I think I just saw him, a guy hitchhiking along Highway 64. Looks just like the man on the news." The driver described a man in his early 30s, long brown hair, stubble, worn flannel shirt. His clothes were dirty, his face partly hidden beneath a hood, but there was something unmistakable about him. FBI agents rushed to confirm the sighting. Could Travis Decker have crossed the country? It seemed impossible, but Decker was cunning. He'd already proven he could slip through forests, avoid checkpoints, and survive in hiding. Maybe he had help. Maybe he had a plan all along. Agents canvassed the area around Highway 64. Gas stations, rest stops, small towns tucked into the Carolina countryside. Witnesses reported seeing a man matching Decker's description, buying cheap food, paying in cash, avoiding eye contact. And then came the security footage. From a convenience store outside Raleigh, a blurry figure stepped into frame. Same build, same hair, same flannel shirt. He bought a bottle of water and a map. Then he walked out, disappearing into the night. The FBI released a statement urging the public to remain vigilant. Fear rippled through the East Coast. If Decker was traveling, he wasn't just a fugitive. He was a moving target, capable of surfacing anywhere. In North Carolina, parents began locking doors earlier. Truck stops became places of tension, with travelers keeping watch on strangers lingering too long. Police patrols doubled, but Decker seemed to vanish as quickly as he appeared. Speculation spread like wildfire online. Was he trying to make it to Mexico? Was someone helping him? Or was he taunting law enforcement, showing just enough of himself to remind the world he was still out there? Then, another chilling report. A woman driving home late at night said she nearly stopped for a hitchhiker who flagged her down near an abandoned gas station. But something stopped her. His eyes, she told police. They were cold, like he was sizing me up. She drove off. Later, when she saw Decker's photo on the news, her blood ran cold. She had almost picked him up. By now, the FBI was certain. Travis Decker was alive and moving east. Agents established new checkpoints along major highways, searching vehicles, questioning travelers. Surveillance drones scanned the rural backroads. Dogs were deployed in wooded areas. But Decker was always just out of reach. He moved like a shadow, appearing and disappearing before anyone could pin him down. And then came the breakthrough. A truck stop security camera outside Charlotte captured clear footage of him. This time, unmistakably Travis. He was thinner, more ragged, but his eyes burned with the same defiance. He lingered near the back of a lot, scanning vehicles like he was waiting for the right ride. Agents knew they were close. The manhunt was about to explode into a dangerous, new phase. As the FBI closed in, one question haunted everyone. Was Decker desperate enough to strike again, to kill again, before they caught him? To be continued. For Part 2, subscribe to Traces of Vengeance and stay with us, as the manhunt for Travis Decker takes its most chilling turn yet.